Hey, folks. So I was watching Jason Callan's kind of collab thing tonight, where he was with Queenie Todd, and I knew her name. Never watched her stuff before, but she was cool. I liked her, so I watched some of her vids and subscribed to her. And one of the ones I watched, she did a thing called Tag Me or some tag thing. Okay, I'm so bad at this. But it was a tag, name your favorites, blah blah blah, and she went through favorite horror movie franchises. I thought it was cool, and I realized a long time ago it happened on Jason's channel where he was tagged, and he was talking about werewolf movies, and I threw in a few that I liked. So I'm going to do a tag my favorite Batman artists and why. Now, if you want to join in, you're not going to know every Batman artist. That's my thing. I love Batman. I love Batman artists. So your favorite interpretation will work. Your favorite actor that played the same character, like your favorite James Bond. That would basically be the same idea, because you're going to see a bunch of Batmans. They're all Batman. They're all different. And these are going to be in chronological order, not in my favorite order. Bill Finger is certainly not my favorite Batman artist. He is one of the most, this is Bill Finger. He is one of the most iconic Batman artists. He created the 1960s Batman, as far as I'm concerned. He made the big typewriters, the big bombastic booms and all that. And a term in comics was created after Bill Finger. Bob Kane took 100% credit for Batman. He was probably not 100% the creator of Batman. There's a good chance that Bill Finger was... there's no legal term to it, but I'd say 90% the creator of the look of Batman. Bill Finger had some ideas. Bob Kane had ideas. Bill Finger was an artist, but Bill Finger was a mild-mannered guy who got screwed out, as far as I'm concerned. And there's a term in comics called getting fingered. And that's when you did more work than you got credit for, basically. Which is, it's a term, getting fingered, but yeah, that's what it means in comics. But this is Bill Finger. The whole 60s look, 50s, 40s, that was him. And there's Robin, and I'm going to put him in my top 5. He is a great Batman artist. And chronologically, not my favorite, but a fantastic Batman artist is Neil Adams. He took that old kind of goofy look into the 70s into a real look. He did Ra's al Ghul. He did a lot of great things. And he just has sleek... He was really good. Now, I have been to a lot of Comic Cons. I have met a lot of these people. I've never met Bill Finger. I think the oldest I've ever met was Julia Swartz. That was quite a moment. It might be a story someday. But I've met Neil Adams, and in all honesty, he's kind of an ass. Don't meet your heroes. He was a hero of mine. I still love his art from the 70s. He's still active today. His art now sucks. There's a book called Batman Odyssey that people just it's a joke on the comic market, but his art was phenomenal. He kind of created a look of Batman that led to my favorite artist. Now Neil Adams, his art's, like I said, him as a person aside, his art I think is number 2. Now number 1 for me, Jim Aparo. Aparo. I've never met the man. I can look at his works and know that's a Jim Aparo Batman. It's the neck. It sounds weird, doesn't it? It's Batman's muscular neck. He doesn't have that cowl that what was it in Dark Knight and all that, where he couldn't turn his head. No, his neck is strong, and that's a Jim Aparo thing. And the cape with the good creases and all that. And he is by far my favorite Batman artist. And I've never met the man. Really wish I had, or have. I think he's still alive. I have no artwork from him, nothing. But yeah, he's my favorite. And the next, I think, well, he was not the next person to take over Batman, but Norm Breyfogle. Norm did a lot of shadow work, a lot of heavy dark lines. He did Batman in the 80s, and I've met Norm. Norm's a great guy. I really liked him. Unfortunately, Norm got very sick and passed. I believe he passed. I would hate to say he did. I know he got so sick he couldn't work. I'm pretty sure he did. I should have checked that first. But Norm was one of the nicest guys I've hung out with at Comic Cons. Yeah, and his artwork, I love it. It's just bold blacks, and it's unusual. He'll almost always have Batman in black, black shadows and all that. And finally, a controversial choice, but one of my top 5, Kelly Jones. There are people who just hate him. They hate those long ears. They hate that weird flappy cape. They hate his look. I love Kelly Jones' look. And I've met Kelly Jones, and I like Kelly Jones a lot. I mean, it had nothing to do with it. I loved his look before I met him. When it comes to him, and that's my order. We're done with my artists. He was a great guy. It was fun to hang out with. He's still around. I hope I meet him again someday. In fact, he would oftentimes come running up and show me, like, he just bought some Cthulhu books. I'm like, okay. I'd laugh. I'm not a Cthulhu guy. He goes, oh, but that's what I'm basing this off of. And his whole thing, when he was doing Batman, they said that Batman was a urban myth. He's not around. But that was the whole idea, that he was an urban myth. That was part of the whole story, which works, I get it. But they also wanted him to draw the Batmobile. He said, who the hell drives around in a Batmobile if they're trying to be a myth? So what he did is, his joke was, he would have Batman swinging by a window with a little girl peeked in the back, seeing him. So he always had people seeing Batman, just because he thought the urban myth story was stupid. And yeah, Kelly Jones is a great guy. I love his work, and I love his Batman. So there's my tag me type video. You certainly should not do a Batman artist unless you are a Batman fan, and I don't think I have a lot of viewers right now that can even name 5 Batman fans or Batman artists. Wouldn't expect you to, but you can name 5 people that interpret someone in some way that you admire. So that's my offer, challenge, suggestion, request. I don't know what you call it. Anyways, I thought that whole tag me thing was fun. So thanks, folks. Have fun.